Alright friends, it's time for another solo honor mode run. I'll be doing a Shadowheart origin run, and I'll be playing around stealth, poisons, item duplication, and giving your summons items they're not supposed to have. And we're going to do it all with a subclass that nobody ever plays, Trickery Domain. That's right, we're playing Shadowheart's Origin, we're playing Trickery Domain, and we're not going to respec her. Well, that's not entirely true. I am going to respec her because her stats are insane. But I am going to be playing Trickery Domain Cleric. And what I'm going to be trying to prove to you is that Trickery Domain is not that bad. It might even be kind of good. So I've never played Shadowheart's Origin before, but I was sort of curious how the Nautiloid would be different. I mean, after all, I can't save Shadowheart from the pod when I am Shadowheart. Grab the magic d20 as always. I guess I don't have to argue with myself about it. That's nice. One of the premises of this run is going to be summoning, so I want to make sure to get the Intellect Devourer us. I am not above restarting the game at this moment if I fail this. Luckily, I don't have to. Then go and get ambushed by Lae'zel. I'm planning to play Shadowheart reasonably lore accurate, which means that I am prejudiced against Githyanki. I immediately do not trust her, but she's useful to me. Look at all this nice gear. Moving on to see how things are different as Shadowheart, I'm left with more questions than answers. Questions like, whose backpack is this? And why does this pod feel so familiar to me?
Another pod, just like yours.
Alright, so I guess things aren't going to be that different, which means we can fast forward to the first real combat, the Grove fight. So the plan is to take 11 levels of Trickery Domain Cleric, but that means I have one flex level for something else. I use a wizard level at first, but I eventually decide I don't want that. I will later turn that into a ranger level. But for now, it is a wizard level, which gets me a couple things. I get the Enhanced Leap spell, great spell for early game mobility. And then I also get access to Mage Hand. This is a summoner build I'm going to be going for, and Mage Hand is an early game summon that you get access to. So let's see what the hand can do for us in this fight. Oh, that was a thrilling 2 damage from the Void Bulb. Didn't even pull them. What are you going to do?
Let's see.
See, Mage Hand? That's how you throw stuff. The rest of the fight proceeds with the usual thrilling series of misses. I try throwing a Caustic Bulb with the Mage Hand. Yeah, okay, I'm not sure what that's about. Are they not standing in the brine? I'm fresh off my Tavern Brawler wizard builds. I got throwing on the brain, you know, so I'm like, what's the heaviest thing I can throw? How about this armor? Alright, not bad. Not bad. Alright, a few more misses. Man, early game combat. It is just exciting stuff, isn't it? Nice. Zevlor, the only one who can hit anybody here. His own blood cleared the Caustic Brine there. That's, blood is a surface, so it overwrites some surfaces like Caustic Brine. Continue shooting them with my short bow. That's the only bow proficiency I have right now. Errands gets absolutely bonked by this bugbear, and not a single tear was shed. But that just goes to show why you gotta watch out for bugbears early game. They have a bonus 1d8 damage that does crit, so they can really crit you down. That would have one-shot me. And we're able to get it all finished up. Make sure to resurrect Will here, because he's got a nice rapier for me later in the game. Skip through the usual Grove errands, buy some Hill Giant potions, get the Whispering Promise ring, one of the better rings in the game, save a tiefling, save a tiefling, make a suicide pact, steal an idol, get another good ring, and then level up to level 3. And since I have a level of wizard, that's Cleric level 2, so I get my Channel Divinity, Invoke Duplicity. This creates an illusory double of myself, which in combat grants me advantage, but if used out of combat, has some special properties. The duplicate will appear equipped with all of your gear, which you can then steal from it to duplicate any equipable item. So let's go crazy with this. Get a Ring of Protection, get another copy of Gloves of Power, another Whispering Promise, why not? And of course, another Chimera's Locket, so the next time Gale needs a snack, we can get him to shut up. Double Ring of Protection is pretty cool right at the start. With a shield and Lae'zel's armor, I can get 21 AC right off the bat. Not bad. Alright, now we're off to go set up an early Raphael knockout. This is how you get the Helldusk armor in Act 1. I don't plan on wearing it much, but duplicating it is another question. Basically what you need to do is get this whole area wet, covered in a big puddle of water. You can get this water barrel from the camp, And then I just throw some water bottles from Auntie Ethel. And then you electrocute this, and this makes Raphael run away. And you can use this to break his AI when he appears in your camp. Alright, ready? He's about to come. Blink and you'll miss it. Wait for it. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's gone. The only other thing you need to do for this is recruit Will and Karlach. Keep them both alive. Don't kill the Paladins of Tyr, and then try to go to the Mountain Pass. Mizora will appear. This cutscene will break Raphael's AI. The fact that you haven't killed the Paladins will give Karlach the option to talk to you about not leaving Act 1. That'll prevent you from progressing the act, and then you just beat the crap out of Raphael at your leisure because his AI is broken. Sadly, I forgot to record myself beating him up, so you'll just have to imagine that part. In a future run, I'll show that part of it as well. My bad. With that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and sneak through the Blighted Village with a Drow disguise. I figured Trickery Domain gets disguise self natively, so it makes sense to do this. I figure it's very on brand for Shadowheart as well. Using this method, I'm able to sneak all the way into the Goblin camp. Just have to ignore one racially insensitive remark from this Goblin. Having snuck my way into the main chamber, I find a Zentarum merchant, and using the power granted me by Lady Shar, I start printing money. The Dark Lady helps me get another copy of the Helldusk plate, and Roa Moonglow seems happy enough to take this counterfeit plate armor off my hands. At this level, she doesn't even have enough wares to match the value of the armor, but that's okay. It's always good to have friends in low places. At this point, I'm kind of shocked at how easy it was to do that, and think, I better not abuse this too much, which is definitely a thought that I commit to for the rest of the run. I'm going to be doing some stealth archery, so I go on some errands. I grab the gloves of archery from Grat the Trader while I'm here in the Goblin camp. It gives me proficiency in longbows, which I need since I don't have it as a cleric, and I want to use the Titan String Bow, which I get from a quick little trip to the Zentarum camp. This is probably the best longbow in the game, and you can get it right from level 3. It adds your strength modifier to damage in addition to dexterity. So just with the Hill Giant Potion and the gloves, I'm getting an extra +7 to damage, which is a lot at this level. For my stealth archery demo, I'll be taking on the Ogres. Just be using the Titan String Bow. Pass Without Trace, which is a spell that Trickery Cleric gets at level 3, gives me +10 stealth. That plus an extra copy of the Smuggler's Ring means I have a very high stealth score without even having proficiency. Look at that, +17. Now, I've never actually played a stealth character before, let alone a stealth archer, so a lot of this is new for me. I definitely make some mistakes and learn a little bit about how stealth rolls work in this game. But it's always interesting to learn about new mechanics, so I had a great time learning, and it'll be fun to show you guys what I learned. I even made some discoveries that I think are not well known in the larger BG3 community. Maybe they're known to the real stealth pros, but they were new to me. So I failed a stealth roll here on a critical fail, rolled a natural 1, and a natural 1 will always reveal you from a stealth roll, no matter how high your check is, so that was the first discovery I made. Also notice that I'm rolling all of these checks with disadvantage. I was a little bit confused why that was. Did some searching on the Larian Discord. I was only able to find 1 or 2 people who had talked about this, also 1 or 2 people on the subreddit. But it seems like stealth rolls to avoid entering combat are always rolled with disadvantage. I did some testing of this on another character. I also did a lot of other stealth battles like this one, so you will see more evidence of this. I promise you, it's not because I'm in a well-lit area here. It's also not because I'm wearing heavy armor. It's the Helldusk armor, which does not impose disadvantage on stealth. It is just how stealth checks work. It's different for hide checks when you're trying to avoid someone's line of sight, or the greater invisibility stealth checks when you're trying to avoid that. But the regular ordinary stealth checks seem to have disadvantage by default. And you can get advantage through something like the Graceful Cloth to balance that out to a neutral roll, but as far as I can tell, it's not possible to get true advantage on a stealth roll to avoid entering combat while attacking from hide. If anyone else has proof of that, I would love to see it. I was not able to get it to work. I think that's just how it works, but like I said, I'm new to this, so I would love some insight if anybody knows. But you have to actually provide proof if you do say that it works differently. One of the things that's very strong about the Titan String Bow is that it adds that extra bonus strength damage to both the regular piercing and the elemental damage from a special arrow. So right from level 3 or 4, you've got this great combo where you deal extra damage from your arrows and extra damage from the explosion from something like a fire arrow. Very strong throughout the game, very strong early. And this, friends, is why critical hit immunity is valued so highly by solo runners. I don't have any right now, but if you don't have it, you can just get unlucky, get 2 back-to-back crits, and I was pretty close to death. I only had 11 health there. I think you get the idea. I just dart around with the fly from Helldusk, shoot special arrows, whittle him down. Forecast this evening, books. And that's it for the Ogres. With those cleared out, I then move on. Shadowheart's next challenge will be the Gnolls. Again, I'm going to be trying to use stealth for this, but I'm also going to be using the insane mobility granted by Enhanced Leap with a Hill Giant potion to jump around as needed, avoid getting caught, and if I do get caught, doing some hit-and-run tactics. A lot of moving back and forth in this section, so I've tried to keep it edited down as much as possible. I take some perhaps greedy shots here because there's not a good way for me to avoid once they start pursuing me, so immediately get found. Of course, I get immediately DC 10'd here, as they call it. DC 10 is the minimum concentration roll when you take damage. Even a little hit like that, 5 damage, I have to roll a DC 10 concentration to maintain concentration on Pass Without Trace, which I failed. Throw a little Alchemist Fire to get them burning. Maybe I can get them taking some damage over time while I'm darting back and forth with my jumps.
Use your illithid potential.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my real mom. That's Shar. Make a mid-combat item swap to the Whispering Promise to help with my accuracy problems. Wow, 3 misses. That's kind of lucky. I'm not even wearing the Helldusk armor here. I'm wearing the Luminous armor, which I have dyed black, just because it looks cool and it's medium armor. I was trying to figure out what was going wrong with my disadvantage on stealth, so that's why I'm wearing that armor. First band of Gnolls down, so let's go clear out the evil pregnant hyenas. Use shovel here to bait out their birth so that I can stealth shoot them. Swapped back to the Helldusk armor because I was still getting disadvantage on stealth even in medium armor, so I'm pretty sure that wasn't the issue. If you've seen Morgana Evelyn's Stealth Archer videos, you probably know this, but something that's just kind of cool about playing this way is you got to actually be thinking on your feet in real time, moving in and out of real-time mode, jumping back and forth as they pursue you. Really changes the game. Totally different playstyle. I also find that attacks made in real-time mode totally change how some effects work. For example, you'll get per-turn effects like ability drain on every single shot. I end up using that more later on. That's why I'm getting reverberation on every shot. It's actually a nice way to pre-debuff enemies. Shoot a bunch of arrows at them, you either kill them or get them debuffed, so either way you win. I think this kind of illustrates why ranged attacks just have an edge up over melee attacks. Generally speaking, a lot of enemies don't have ranged attacks, so if you shoot them from range, you're just completely safe. Alright, Enhanced Leap is good. Now I sneak around the back to get some stealth kills against the main pack. Sadly get discovered, again, for a natural 1 on a stealth check. That's very likely when you have disadvantage, as many as 1 in 10 rolls. As you can see, I'm still getting disadvantage on every stealth roll. End up having to reset the combat a couple times, just by running away. Enemies will drop out of combat if you get far enough away. When you're playing solo honor mode, don't be afraid to do that. Caution is the name of the game. You only have 1 life, and a single mistake can end your run. Coming back around to the other side now. Hyena is an easy one-shot kill. Jump up and take high ground on Pride Rock.
Unnoticed. Good.
A lot of moving around with Stealth Archer. You want to avoid those sight cones. How stealth rolls work is you roll them when you attack, when you are not visible to them for any reason. So if you stay out of their sight cone, you can roll stealth rolls to prevent entering combat. But if you are right next to them in their sight cone, you won't get a chance to make that roll, unless you're obscured to them by some other method like fog cloud or darkness, or if you have blinded them. One obvious weakness of doing stealth from range is you're often far enough away that you have disadvantage on the attack rolls. You can cancel that out by getting advantage with something like the Risky Ring. Here I am once more confused about why I have disadvantage on the actual stealth rolls. This is why I pre-buff myself with Enhanced Sleep and Featherfall whenever I'm doing stealth archery. Just makes it easy to reset combat by jumping away. Honestly, the wizard level is very useful for stealth archery because of Enhanced Sleep. Just a great mobility spell, helps you dart around. There are other ways of getting it. I'm sure this is getting a little bit repetitive. I know it was for me. But I really wasn't expecting to fail quite so many stealth rolls. I didn't know about the disadvantage thing, but now I do. And one of the conclusions that sort of led me to make is that Halfling is even better at stealth than people think. Lightfoot Halfling gets advantage on stealth just as a racial passive right from the beginning of the game. That's the earliest you can get it. They get to neutral out those stealth rolls earlier than anyone else. And then also they get Halfling Luck, which allows you to reroll your ones, and ones are the stealth killer, since a natural one is always a failure, and there's no way to get true advantage on stealth rolls as far as I can tell because of that default disadvantage. Halfling is the only character that can get a higher than 95% chance of making their stealth rolls before reliable talent at level 11. That's the rogue ability that allows you to default 10 on all of your ability checks. So that's obviously the best way to make those stealth rolls, but the next closest is Halfling, and you get access to that much earlier. Using the arrows of ice here because I'm trying to slow down Flind, maybe make them fall on the ice, and then I figure maybe Shovel can provide a distraction as well. Oh yeah, you love to see it. Good work, Shovel. Keep distracting them. Alright, there we go. Gnolls down. It was a bit hectic and chaotic, but we were able to do it. The Goblin camp will be next, but first I need to get an item from Kagha. I could fight her and her Shadow Druids, but there is an easier way. If you fast travel while you are carrying someone with improvised melee weapon, you will bring them with you. So I can take Kagha wherever I need her to be. I'll be going over improvised melee weapon more in my Tavern Brawler Wizard guide that's coming out soon, but long story short, if you right-click to cancel improvised melee weapon before you slam them on the ground, you can move them without making them mad. This is an easy and very safe way to kill Kagha early. If you need something from her, then just jump down. Oh god! Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hit you, Mr. Bear. Jeez, you gotta be careful. That was... Oh my god! Ah! Shovel, you almost killed me. What are you doing? Anyways, the reason I did this is for Broodmother's Revenge. Great early game amulet, combos very nicely with the Whispering Promise Ring. Chug a health potion and you get 1d6 poison damage and 1d4 attack roll bonus from the ring. So it's just an easy way to help your damage and accuracy very early in the game for low investment. With that amulet in hand, I'm going off to clear out the courtyard of the Goblin camp. Plus 15 stealth, very good. I'm also wearing the hide armor plus 2, which will give me a +1 bonus to dexterity checks. That includes stealth, and then also +1 bonus to initiative, which is nice if I get caught out in combat. More likely to go first. Start by sniping Crusher. He very rudely heals himself in the middle of getting killed. One of the many oddities of doing attacks outside of combat. Booyah Piddle was like, no way I'm sticking around for this. This courtyard is so fun to dart around with Enhanced Sleep and Stealth. Feels like playing Hitman rather than Baldur's Gate. Fun and flavorful tech here. If you shoot the booze tub with Ray of Sickness, you can poison it that way, and then they will all die when they drink the poison. Just trying to rotate around, picking off the stragglers. Oh, got a little too close there. I have plenty of invisibility potions right now, which I made sure to stock up on before coming here. Very easy way to reset combats when you inevitably mess up like that. Or like that. A more experienced stealth player probably would have known that shot was high risk of revealing when I hit them without killing them in one shot. But like I said, a little bit of learning as I go with this run. decide to try coming from another angle, kind of just hit everybody who's on the edges where I'm least likely to be seen by their friends as I shoot them. Wonder how many times I rotated around this entire little camp. Just keep jumping in circles, looking for someone to kill. Not to keep beating a dead horse, but here you go. More evidence that you just have disadvantage on stealth rolls by default. Poisoning alcohol, moving around exploding barrels, sniping from a distance. It truly is a game of Hitman. Hitman 4, Faerun. Little surprise around here, makes it easy to finish them all off with a second grenade. Then I rotate around back to the front door where I'm going to be using my Cat Familiar, which I got from my wizard level. It works like Minor Illusion in that it distracts enemies, so creates an opening for some stealth kills. And then back to the high ground in the back of the area to try and snipe the ogre. One of the challenges of stealth archery is sometimes it can be hard to hit enemies while they're moving in real time. See, I misclicked there. But I do discover a little tech for helping with that, which I'll show later in this video. Heading into the camp itself, I'm going to try to snipe Priestess Gut and her friends from the rafters. Rude. Rude! Oh my god, why? Oh my god, Shadowheart. 4 misses in 4 shots. Oh, and I'm spotted. Oh, Priestess Gut is up here. Oh, well, yeah, this was totally intentional. It was all a trick. I was just trying to lure her up here. Oh, and one of her friends, too. How convenient. And with this last goblin in this fight, I do get to level 5. This is level 4 Cleric, so I get an extra cantrip. I just end up deciding to take Resistance because it's useful for some conversation checks, like the Zathis. And then I take Alert for my feat, which is great for a stealth character because it ensures you always go first. When you accidentally fail a stealth roll, you're good to go. Now that I'm level 5, I decided to take a foray into the Underdark. I've scribed a scroll of Animate Dead so that I can cast it with my 3rd level spell slots. I definitely prefer the skeletons to the zombies on this character because the skeletons can receive equipment. Zombies cannot. I explain in detail how this works in the intro video for this series. Go ahead and check out the first video in the playlist if you're curious. Basically, gear that is consumable by Gale can be equipped from the ground by most summons, and then once they have gear in that slot, you can do the little eye equipment swap glitch to give them whatever you want. So I've just given the skeleton the Bracers of Archery and a Caustic Band. Equipping summons this way can get pretty tedious, so I won't bore you with the details, but I also give him a Psychic Spark for Magic Missile, the Spell Sparkler for lightning charges, the Titan String Bow to add strength to archery attacks, another Caustic Band, and then I have him drink an Elixir of Hill Giant Strength for that Titan String Bow. Skelebro is now suited up and ready to go. We're going to go monster hunting in the Underdark, starting with the Hook Horrors. Hopefully we can get a few shots on this one while staying hidden. Or not. It's another case of natural ones harshen my stealth vibe. Now it's the skeleton's turn to see if he was worth all the clicking I had to do to outfit him. Okay, 20 damage, actually very good for a summon, especially since I had very good chance to hit as well. Don't have a good angle for stealth archery on this next one, so I'm going to use Shovel to get a surprise round. Sadly, familiars cannot receive equipment, so Shovel is going to be just the base summon for this run. Enhanced Leap lets my skeleton sneak into place, and then I'm going to start shrieking. Phalar Alluve and Spell Sparkler are the basic ingredients of an early game magic missile build. And look at that, I can do it with the skeleton. With the surprise round, I get a few free shots off at the Hook Horror, and even Shovel manages to make a contribution. Honestly, I too am a little frightened by that line. Unable to move because of the fear, this Hook Horror is easy prey, not that it matters, because it never gets a chance to act anyways. Next one is actually placed well for stealth archery. Come on, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Incredible. Trying with Philro, I forgot he can use shield outside of combat. And before you ask, yes, it was another nat 1. Don't want to get hypnotized by him, so I try to nuke him down. Even Shovel's going to help. I always hesitate to use outfitted summons as meat shields because it is a lot of time and effort to give them the gear, but my better instincts prevail, and I leave it out front to eat the spell for me. With the skeleton incapacitated, it's up to me to finish off Filro by myself, which does free the skeleton. Ouch. Okay, healing potion both for the health and to dip my weapon in poison with Broodmother's Revenge, and then I just keep it up, peppering it with arrows, trying to outlast it. And the skeleton bonk as well as he can shoot. Hey, immune to bleeding, it's relevant. Worth shouting out how much damage both me and my skeleton do with bow attacks. Without much class investment at all, just gear, we're able to do very solid damage for this stage of the game. Continuing my Underdark monster hunt, I fight the Minotaurs, and I want to test out a tech I discovered where if you use toxins on your bow, you can sort of stun enemies in place when you shoot them out of combat. As you can see, every time it makes a save, it kind of flinches like that, which prevents it from pursuing me while I shoot it. It makes it much easier to get all my stealth archer shots in. Very useful. I'm so excited by how well that worked that I decided to take on the Spectator. Maybe it's a little arrogant to do it this early. And it works very well at first, but of course you can still roll those damn nat 1s. However, the Toxin strategy has the added bonus that since Toxins have no maximum number of stacks that you can apply at a time, they'll be taking a bunch of stacks of poison damage on his first turn of combat. And since those poison damage stacks will also get your universal damage riders, I decided to charge up some lightning charges. I intentionally triggered the Paranoid Dreams here, because I'm far enough away not to get hit by it right now. Petrified Drow make excellent meat shields. Oh my god, the disrespect backwards facing I-beam. As you can see, every one of the 4 ticks of poison damage got a lightning charge. And then with my 2 shots from a haste potion, I'm able to finish him off. Next stop on my Underdark Sniper World Tour, be shooting some of the Grymforge dwarves. I want to try the simple poison here because it seems like the saving throw is the only thing that matters for making them flinch. Seems to work reasonably well. Now hold still, Mr. Magnar. It'll all be over soon. Damn, so close. Man, these guys love to enlarge themselves, even when it's not going to do anything. Dwarf target practice continues. Ah, again! I don't know how good he is at throwing, so I figure I'll shield. Oh, that's not... Oh no. Okay, that wasn't that bad. His buddy positions himself right underneath my platform, which gives me an idea. Got plenty of these.
No time like the present.
It's okay, I guess. Suppose I may as well just shoot him with arrows. Damage isn't all that different. And another one. Easy. Can she repeat it on his friend? Good. No. Good. No, 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 no. Shadowheart, what was that? You choked. Alright, let's try the big heavy armor throw again. 2 damage, really? Yeah, crush damage can be inconsistent like that. It's actually slightly better if you throw it next to them, so they get hit during the arc of movement, rather than targeting them directly. Ooh, looks like a good angle up here. I never go up here. Oh, right, that's why I never go up here. I continue this process of just sort of wandering around, looking for some stragglers that I can easily pick off from my sniper nests. Some of these attempts are more successful than others, but with the power of Enhanced Sleep, I can always bounce away to safety. Hey look, Shar. I'm getting a lot of Shar vibes from this Shar temple. While I'm over here, I find a balcony overlooking the oozes that I don't know if I've ever seen before, so I figure it's time for some machine gun archery. Okay, wow, that was really effective. If only my stealth rolls were always that consistent. Back in the main area, I fail on yet another stealth roll. So I run away again, and then get caught again. And again. And yet another time. I think the reason Larian uses this disadvantage mechanic with stealth is probably for this exact reason, so that there's a limit to how many free shots you can get in practice. Which makes me want to play a halfling or a rogue with reliable talent and see just how far you can break it, but that'll have to wait for another run. I free Nier from his stony prison and then immediately sneak away and jump into the rafters. Look at that, Nier is perfectly placed from this vantage point. Can she bring it home without getting caught? Oh, incredible. Great work, Shadowheart. As you can see, I do have great stealth rolls, it's just a matter of not getting nat ones. Returning to the Goblin camp, I'm going to take out the Goblin leaders, and I'm going to be trying out one of the familiars, the rat. That's very Shar-themed, right? Wouldn't you agree, Lurthendor? Held on to a wolf corpse to reanimate. I think Shadowheart just wanted revenge, you know, she doesn't like wolves. Sorry, you're trying to tell me that skeleton came out of that wolf? Cast Aid here. One of the best spells for summons, and it's Cleric exclusive. Pass Without Trace as well, because I'm going to be starting out with some stealth. Give the skeleton a few items. Gloves of Archery is the main one here. Also do the item swap glitch to give it a gold wormling staff to cast Firebolt. Damn, he's actually got a cast animation. Move the skeleton stealthily into position in the rafters. And then I position myself in the rafters as well. Kind of my go-to spot for this fight. Although I have sort of been reevaluating it lately because if you fall off, that's a bummer. Alright, we're going to do a little pre-combat with the rat, sneaking up invisibly all the way up to Drawer's side. Infected. So the rat's infectious bite is very interesting. It gives them this infected condition for 10 turns. No saving throw, just have to hit them with it. And then they get disadvantage on Constitution saves for 10 turns. It just lasts for 10 turns unconditionally. Wasn't actually able to get that much value out of it in Act 1, but I am going to be using it more in Act 3, but from Ranger rather than Wizard. Here my thinking was that it would help me land some Purple Worm toxins against Drawer. And you know, honestly it does, but don't really end up needing it. Trying out Spiritual Weapon here. Usually it's just good for soaking up attacks, but I have some ideas for how to use it a little bit differently. Here's a cool little tech. If you shoot a potion with your skeleton from out of combat, it won't get pulled into combat. Spiritual Weapon only has a bonus action by default, but you can give it a regular action with haste. Decide I'm a little bit uncomfortable being up here surrounded by everybody, so I'm going to invis out for a bit. Sadly, the skeleton does get pulled into combat this time. I think probably just got too close, maybe? Oh no. Well, he didn't last very long. In retrospect, maybe a ledge isn't the best place to keep a skeleton. They have bludgeoning vulnerability, so if they fall down, it's just instantly shatter. It's okay, though. Lady Shar can bail me out with one of the most OP spells in the game, Spirit Guardians. I love how the Necrotic one looks. It's too bad that Necrotic is generally not as useful as Radiant. I wish there was more gear that interacted with Necrotic damage, you know? Booyag Knot has a Scroll of Hold Person, so I want to make sure to finish them off. Damn, okay, that was effective. If you give a Spiritual Weapon haste, it can equip items, so I have an idea of giving it a copy of Morning Frost. Doesn't really end up coming into play, but it was a funny idea, right? Well, like I said, the Spiritual Weapon is mostly good for soaking up attacks, and it is pretty good at that. Dealing damage, not so much. Now it's just a matter of cleaning everybody up with Spirit Guardians and my Flying Potion. Devout Cry proves remarkably resilient. They should give this chick a raise, or, well, they're dead, so they can't. Another interesting thing about Spiritual Weapon is that it is immune to the lethargic condition, so it can just ride out the haste without penalty. And Devout Cry finally falls with the rest of them. Minthara is the last target on my hit list, so let's finish her off. Take out her buddies first. That one was very clean, but I roll a critical fail on my stealth check against the next one. Sorry, strange floating eye, but all your friends are dead, so I don't know what reinforcements you think you're calling.
Let's make this quick.
Why? Why? I think I got a little bit spoiled by my Tavern Brawler wizard run, you know? Accuracy out the ass with Tavern Brawler. You go back to a non-Tavern Brawler character and it's like, why am I missing? I'm not interested in tangling with Minthara one-on-one. In a fair fight, I have lost runs to her before. She's got Old Person and can just crit you down, so just gonna run away, Sanctuary for good measure, and reset the combat. You might be wondering why she got Reverberation here. It's because I'm wearing the Boots of Stormy Clamor and I have Sanctuary active. Sanctuary emits an invisible aura around you that tells the AI you're not a valid target, but since it's a status, it triggers the boots. If you leave an area, you will automatically exit the combat. So maybe it's cowardly, but that's my plan. Oh, wait. Where's Minthara going? What? Why? Yeah, I swear I wasn't trying to put Minthara in the spider pit again, just like last run, but, you know, I guess it's just a pattern with me. Okay, out of combat, let's go back inside and see what the hell Minthara's up to. Seems like it's going well for her. It'd probably be too much to ask for that to be a crit on Minthara, right? Gotta wait for that bless to wind down. So let's snipe the last goblin. And take care of this damn scrying eye. Nothing but net. Back to Minthara. My plan is to shoot her with some purple worm toxin. Need the top-down view so I can actually see her down there. And once more, purple worm toxin proves out to be incredibly overkill. With Minthara done, that is the end of the Goblin Camp and the end of Act 1. I'll be going to Act 2 next. There are a few Act 1 fights I haven't finished yet, but I'll be coming back for them later. Act 2 will be a fun time for this character because I unlock a lot of things that the build is aiming towards. For example, Divine Strike is the big one. A lot of interesting stuff I can do with that. At level 7, I can summon 3 skeletons, and at level 9, I can summon a flying ghoul. Very interesting summon to use with items because its casting stat is strength. So if you like this video, make sure to check out the Act 2 one when it comes out. This is Build-a-Barbarian Workshop. Always appreciate a like, a comment, or a subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.